It can't have escaped your attention that we have a new government at Westminster, a new government with a big majority, and one which we all hope will prioritise wildlife and conservation. So I am delighted to welcome on stage, recently re-elected with a significantly enhanced share of votes, the MP for Sheffield Hallam, Olivia Blake.
Thank you very much, and hopefully the microphone's the right height for me and you can all hear me well. But it's just great to see everyone here today. I'm the species champion for the Hen Harrier in Parliament, which basically means I use every opportunity I possibly can to raise the Hen Harrier in the debates that we have in Parliament, particularly around biodiversity and nature persecution, which is a big problem, as we all know. And I know how much effort goes into organising events like this. And I think they're so special because they're an opportunity to bring us all together to celebrate a great species, but also to highlight the challenges and the issues that are really impacting across the UK. And I think it's quite clear that we can see the damage that has been done to our environment and the biodiversity within the massive and widespread changes that we're seeing year on year with our climate. And we can't talk about a climate emergency without talking about the nature emergency. They are two both entwined, and they are so important to tackle together, because if we can do one that benefits the nature, then that will benefit the climate. If we benefit the climate, then hopefully that will help to begin to start restoring our nature. And being in a country and being in Parliament representing a beautiful part of the country in Sheffield Hallam, it really saddens me that we in the UK are some of the most nature depleted country in Europe. And I think that that really says so much about how far we have to go to rebuild and rewild and think again about how we can make wildlife a priority through our policies, and also make restoring habitats a key part of what we do from a community level right up to a government level as well. Despite the best efforts of death on crime, we know that the persecution of birds is still a huge issue. We know that the work that we've been doing over the last number of years, whilst highlighting the issues, hasn't stopped the issues, and we're still seeing hen harrier populations continue to drop. Natural England has shown that hen harriers are 10 times more likely to die or disappear on grouse moors. That needs to change. And they found that 72% of birds that were tagged were either confirmed or extremely likely to be killed illegally, which is just simply not good enough. And although we've seen chick numbers increasing, which is a good thing, we still need to make sure that those chicks can go on to live fulfilling and long lives on our moorlands and beyond, and that we need to make sure that they are protected. I've also been championing the ending of burning on our moorland estates to come up with different ways of managing our estates, and was very pleased to hold a number of debates over the years on this practice in Parliament, and I'm hoping to use the next 5 years to continue making calls to protect our environments, especially our precious peatlands, which are so important to not only my own constituency's landscapes, but holding the carbon and storing the carbon of our country as well, and making sure that we do have those wildlife landscapes that are so precious and protected and actually enhanced. Because at the moment, all too often, the peatlands that many of our species rely on are in such a poor state and are completely degraded. And they're not doing the job that they could be doing to support with the climate crisis that we're facing. And I know that there was a lot of issues during coronavirus of hen harriers being poisoned, shot and trapped and killed, and that rose sharply because I think there was less of a oversight of those issues. So I think it's really important that we continue to make sure that if you see anything suspicious, that you're reporting it all the time and making sure that these iconic birds not going to fall to the persecution of people who would like to see them harmed. And I don't want this speech to be entirely negative, because I do think there has to be some optimism, and certainly everyone being around today and kind of coming together to celebrate Hen Harrier Day is really impressive. And we've seen that there is a long way to go, but there's still so many opportunities, and it's the hard work of many volunteers up and down the country in different landscapes, helping to protect, helping to preserve, and helping to rewild and make space for nature that is so important to keeping us on track for turning things around. Now, as was mentioned, we do now have a Labour government. I am a Labour MP, and I will continue to hold the government to account on this agenda, regardless of whether it's Conservative or Labour, because it's so important that we get this right. We only have, we have limited time, and time is drastically running out and not on our side to turn the corner that we need to. And it's really important that we all work as collectively as we can to push for that. So I'll continue to work in Parliament to raise the issues up the agenda, not only about the Hen Harrier, but also about the biodiversity risks that we're seeing developing, and also the more action that we could see from government and from the associated kind of bodies like DEFRA, to make sure that we're doing everything that we can in order to protect these species, but also make space for nature within our local urban areas as well. I'm quite lucky that I represent a big chunk of the Peak District, but my constituency also goes right into the city of Sheffield. And, I think it's really telling when I go and talk to people on the doorsteps how important wildlife and nature is to everyone. It's the thing that gets raised with me the most about the impact of climate change that people have noticed, and they really want to stay engaged with nature, and the well-being side of it is so important as well, and something that people raise with me all the time. And we need to make sure that we're creating that space so that people can get out there and enjoy nature and fully get the benefits that come with it. But that has to be balanced with protecting nature as well, which I know is quite a conversation to have. So I think it's really important that we do continue to have big debates about the political side of this, and kind of whether that's the access to nature, or whether that's our targets that were in the Environment Bill being met and how we're best going to do that, or whether that's new legislation to clean up our rivers and to make those waterways cleaner. I think there's so much on the political agenda that I'm looking forward to getting my teeth into in this Parliament, and hopefully working with people around here and across the spectrum, really, to kind of make sure that we're all pushing in the right direction. So once again, massive thank you for inviting me to speak today. It's great to see so many people out here, even if it was raining, and I'm glad it's dried off now. But I think that shows just how passionate people are about this issue, and why it's so important that we can continue to pursue the changes that we need to see, and make sure that those who are doing harm are held to account, and that those practices which are doing harm, such as burning, are ended. So I'll continue to fight for those issues. So thank you so much for your time, and have a great afternoon.